Welcome to the Forever Cash Life Real Estate Investing Podcast with your hosts, Jack and Michelle Bosch. Together, let's uncover the secrets to building true wealth through real estate and living a purpose-driven life.
My name is David Van. I'm one of the concierges for the Land Profit Generator. And this is my favorite time of the week. You're in your business right now. You're all freshened up for the weekend. And now you're like, I really got to start making this stuff work. Okay. So one of the reasons I love doing this, and it's a huge opportunity for me, is I get to meet people like you. And I feel like I'm talking to myself in the past. Okay. My whole goal and intention today is to just collapse time for you, make it easier for you, kind of just explain some of the concepts a little bit easier. And you actually send me a comment and saying, I just got started. Okay. So cool. Let's get into it. So in the Land Profit Generator, please leave me a comment when you get into so I can actually see who's in here. But great. So we just got back from a huge event. I learned a lot. Met a lot of people. I want to talk about the top 5 ways that advanced land flippers sell their properties easier and faster compared to new investors. Super critical, super huge is getting this sale, right? I met a lot of people, and one thing that I really learned was that one of the biggest differences, not only are advanced students delegating their business, but they're also making it easier for their business to sell properties. And that's what it all comes down to. So if you can budget and you can sell and you can collapse time on that, you have a real business. So if you're just getting started and you haven't made sales yet, I will give you the secrets. From myself, starting completely fresh, the biggest anxiety I had was, how do I sell? Okay? Because with the Land Profit Generator method of acquiring properties, it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay? It's not that, for me, it's not that difficult once you understand the concepts, because the concepts work. We all know the process works. Okay? We all know that. The Land Profit Generator has been around for, I believe, 15 to 18 years. And they've been around here for a reason, okay? So selling the properties is where the real secrets come out, okay? Selling the properties is the big difference between an advanced student and somebody that just got lucky a couple times, okay? Because I've talked to a lot of people where they got a couple properties and they sold it and they're like, wow, this is so much easy. And then they got stuck with some properties and it didn't move as fast as they wanted. And now all of a sudden the pain starts settling in. So that's what I'm going to help you with today. I want you to take notes. And let's talk about it. Okay, so top 5 reasons. And I've been doing this a while. And these strategies are really how anything's going to sell fast. Okay, so the advanced students just know how to do it really well, because either they're in the coaching program or they've been taught exactly how to do this hands-on. And they've gotten results from it, okay? So let's dive in. Number 1, digital lead magnet, okay? One thing that the coaches really taught me and really built out my buyer's list, okay? This goes back to your buyer's list. If you really want to sell stuff easy, could you imagine just sending out a blast email and somebody just buys it off your email? Well, that's a buyer's list, okay? In order to build that, you got to get creative, okay? And we sometimes have used digital lead magnet. So what is that? That's like something where you're scrolling down Facebook or something like that, and it says buy land in Arizona for $200 a month. They're not advertising a specific property, and they're dangling a carrot right there. Okay, maybe it's something like learn how to buy land in Arizona for $200 a month and get this free book on the top 50 landmark destinations in America if you drive an RV. Okay, something like that. Okay, so they're kind of dangling a carrot for you to just opt in. Okay, now if they opt in, That is a buyer that is going on your buyer's list, okay? And they're already qualified in your state, and you're going to tag them for a future buyer's list email. Okay. Now the coach is going to get into that. I'm not going to get into so much details about that, but that is super critical. If you want to build your buyer's list fast, could you imagine having 5,000 people on your buyer's list? What would that do for your business? If you were trying to sell one property and you had 5,000 people on your buyer's list, what would that do for your business? How many leads do you think would be calling you about this property if you talk to 5,000 people about it? Okay. All right, cool. Number 2, we all know what a for sale sign is. Okay. One thing that was super amazing for me in the coaching program, super amazing for me, was being able to network and just really get hardline, clear details about the sales process of land from the other coaches and the experienced investors. And one thing that just blew my mind was not just a for sale sign on the property, but bandit signs. Okay? Bandit signs. So it's like, when you go into a neighborhood and you see like a garage sale, turn right, turn left, turn right, right? That's a bandit sign. Okay? Imagine that your property is kind of secluded, and maybe not a lot of people drive by it, but it's right down the street from a major road, and you say, turn right for a property for sale. Okay? Something like that. Okay? Now, the details are obviously with the coaches, that they really make it easy on how they explain it and set it up, that you can do this from the privacy of your own home. And the trick of this is not going to the property. The trick is delegating somebody to do it for you locally. So if you want to hear some tips and tricks about that, reach out to your concierge, okay? Tip number 3 on how land flipping experts sell their land faster than new investors. Does anybody know? Want to take a guess? Adding value. If you can add value to something, it should always sell faster and easier, okay? Because let's say your property's worth $10,000 without power. If you had power on that, you could probably sell it for $25,000. Maybe it only cost you $2,000 to get power on it, okay? But now you can sell it for $25,000, okay? Or let's say, this happened to me a few times. I was surprised to see how many trees were on my property. Consider cutting the grass, okay? Cutting the grass adds a lot of value. If somebody goes to your property and they just see that it's just overwhelmed with trees and bushes and stuff like that, maybe just cutting the grass is all they need. Especially women, I've found out. Guys so much don't really care. They're like, I'll take care of it. But if a woman really wants it to be like a package deal already, it's done, okay? So if you can add value to your property by something as simple as just clearing it, it changes the whole game for your sales process. Because now when they go there, they can visualize a house on it, okay? They can visualize an RV. They can visualize a mobile home on it. Okay, super huge. And when I say adding value, that can go in 1,000 different directions. I'll leave that up to you, but it's really important. And because experienced investors have a little bit more capital, they can do stuff like that. Okay, obviously all remotely. All right. Now, number 4, which is probably one of my favorites. Okay, specialized marketing. Specialized marketing in real estate is really incredible. Okay, there's a lot of noise out there. Okay, you have to differentiate yourself from everybody else. If you've ever gone to Zillow and you see all these properties, it's like 23,000, 23,000, 23,000, 23,000. They're all the same price. They're all the same size. Why would somebody buy that property from you over anybody else? Okay, it might be because of the way the pictures are, the way you structure your ad copy. But most importantly, what my favorite thing to do is this specialized marketing channel, okay? Now, thankfully, the coaches taught me this, and this is why it's my favorite, is imagine you are selling a property where you know that if somebody had an RV, they'd buy it in a heartbeat, right? But you may not be getting a lot of leads. Well, a lot of people that have an RV are like on RV Trader, they're in these RV Facebook groups. Have you seen how many people are on these like travel groups and RV groups and mobile home? Like there is hundreds of thousands of people in these Facebook groups, okay? So if you put a property in there with a location for sale, somebody might not have even thought about going to Zillow and Craigslist, so they weren't even intentionally thinking about buying a property in the first place, but now that they see it and it solves a problem for them, now they're interested, okay? Total game changer, okay? This has to be a very delicate process. You really need some clear instructions on how to do this, but this is one of the tips that advanced investors use in their business today to sell their properties faster and easier, okay? And it works, all right? Tip number 5. Okay, this is my favorite one. I know that I was saying a couple of them were my favorite ones, but I really feel like this is my favorite one, and I'm gonna tell you a story. So one time, I had a salesman working for me, and she had 492 leads, I think, came in like a month, I think it was, something like that. Maybe it was 2 weeks, I don't know. 492 leads, and she didn't make any sales. So she made 0 sales, and this really scared me. And I was like, is there something wrong with my properties or what's going on? And then I talked to my mentor, and he was like, well, there's probably something wrong with your training. You know, for you to have 0 sales and 492 leads, that's a problem, okay? You know, if her voice is clear and everything like this, like what is the problem? Because they're already qualified. Remember, in land flipping, they're already qualified on price. Anybody that opts in, they're already qualified on price because they already see our pricing on Zillow or Craigslist or Facebook or a website or a Facebook page, right? So what is it? Why didn't these 492 people buy? So I was trying to figure it out myself. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take control. Okay, I took 10 phone calls and I closed all 10. All 10. I was 10 for 10 on sales of my land flipping business simply because I was the one taking the call. Now, yes, I think I'm the best in the world, but maybe you don't, right? I don't think that's quite what it was. What I think of what it was I negotiated with the buyers, okay? And a lot of times, newer students don't negotiate with the buyers. You can negotiate, just like you negotiate with the seller, you can negotiate with the buyer. A lot of people forget this. This is probably one of the top million secrets in the world is how to negotiate with a buyer and how important it is to negotiate with a buyer, okay? So when I was talking to these people, I was trying to figure out, why do they want the property? Why do they need the property? Is this a good time for them to buy the property? Okay, those 3 things. Why do they want the property? Why do they need the property? And is this a good time for them to have the property? And if it wasn't, I was trying to build value on all of these 3 things. So I wanted a 10 for 10 on these. And if it was an 8 or a 7 or a 6 or whatever, I was going to build value on all that so that all 10, I got a 30 for 30. That's what I was looking for. Okay. And so then I was negotiating, and then I was like, okay. And I was feeling them out on price. If price was the issue, could I give you a discount? If timing was an issue, could you make a deposit now and start your payments 2 months from now? Like what was it going to take for them to buy the property? That person on the phone. And you got to fight. And if you're not a good fighter, you're not going to be a good negotiator. Okay? So it's super critical that you really genuinely fight on these conversations for the close. Okay? You got to try your hardest. Okay? You're on the phone with another person, not a client, a person. And you have to find out, man to man, woman to woman, what do they need to buy that property? And you have to find a way to give it to them on the phone or one call close. So if my salesman took 492 calls and sold 0 sales, and I took 10 for 10 and I sold 10 land deals, I just made a conscious decision. I'm not going to get off this phone until they buy this property. Okay, so that really taught me a hard lesson that you have to be able to negotiate with the buyers. Okay, you have to be able to give them a reason. You got to build on their scarcity, their urgency, and their timing, and their price qualification. Okay, now, obviously, for the people that are in the coaching program, you need to be asking these questions on how do you do this? Okay, how do I negotiate with a buyer and a seller? If you're not asking these questions, you're not getting these answers. Okay, so one of the beautiful things that I absolutely loved about our in-person event was I was networking and I was talking to the other advanced coaches, okay, in the group, and I was just diagnosing their business too. Okay, if a lady is every single one of her deals, she's selling properties for $40,000 to $100,000 net profit. She is obviously going after a certain kind of buyer type and a certain kind of property type. Okay, the buying avatar and the property type. Okay, so do you think that you would negotiate with them a little bit differently than somebody that's buying a $10,000 property for $200 a month? Okay, yeah. Okay, but unless you get on the phone with them and you really fight for the close, you're not going to know what they want. You're not going to know what they need. Okay, so negotiating with buyers is by far my favorite thing to do, because I really feel like if they're going to give me something, I'm going to take it. Right? And if there's something I can give to them that they will take, I'm going to give it to them. Okay, I'm going to find a way. All right, so please incorporate these 5 things. That is digital lead magnets, bandit signs, adding value, specialized marketing, and negotiating with buyers. So I know that's going to help you in your business today. This is Winning Wednesday with David Van with the Land Profit Generator. I was so excited about talking about this because I know it helped me personally in my business. I know this can help you in yours. Okay, so give us a chance, reach out to your concierge, let us know what you thought about this. If you have additional questions about this, go ahead and leave us a comment, send me a DM, let's get you back on track. Let's just get started implementing advanced strategies. The faster we're making money, the happier we're gonna be. Okay, I've never heard anybody say, well, I mean, if you're making more money and you're spending more time doing it, that may not be fun for you. But if you're delegating it and you have the right process, now we're having fun. Okay, so let's have fun with land flipping. Send me a question. I'm excited to be back. Let's rock it. Let's do this again. Let's do this again and keep it up. Okay, guys? Thanks a lot, guys. I'll talk to you in a bit.